What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I wanted to jump in with some Destiny 2 and Forsaken DLC news. So I want to talk about a few bits of gear that we'll be getting in this September DLC, some exotics that you may have missed, the possibility of character titles actually coming to Destiny 2, and we've got some bits of clarification and information about subclasses and other changes we'll see in the September expansion. On top of this, I wanted to talk about heroic strike modifiers, some potential changes that'll be coming up, a few things about the faction rally, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys enjoy this video, a like is super appreciated down below. It really helps me out on the channel. For now though, let's jump straight into it. So the first thing that I wanted to mention very briefly is something that Scott Taylor said in the vid arc for the Forsaken DLC. And this has kind of flown under the radar a little bit when they're talking about triumphs with the new objectives and rewards that you can unlock. Scott Taylor said the cool thing is that I can do that thing, and then I can get a title above my nameplate that says I'm a god or whatever. And this didn't really register with me the first time that he said it, but thinking about it, of course, in a lot of MMO games, you do have player titles. So, you know, you'd have your gamer tag, in my case, XX Captain Noob or something like that, and then you might have a title like the Wanderer or the Raider of the Dreaming City or something like that. And so I just thought that was worth pointing out. Of course, we haven't actually seen it in game yet, we don't know how it will work exactly, but it's an interesting possibility, and I think any massive multiplayer fans would be pretty excited about that. Before we take a look at some interesting new weapons, I just wanted to point something out. Somebody tweeted, with so many changes coming in Forsaken, such as the new mod system and random rolls, etc., does this mean that we can expect our current arsenal to be left behind as we move forward? When can we expect to have more light shined on this? And Deej said, well after the story reveal at E3, plenty of time this summer to nail down all of the details. And because of this response, there's been a lot of speculation that the answer is essentially yes, a lot of stuff will be left behind. On top of this, I remember Daniel from Bungie on the subject of escalation protocol armor speaking about perks and things like that, and he said it was pretty unlikely that they would go back and add perks to the older gear. And so almost certainly some gear will stay back in year one, potentially at year one levels, or will not have the ability to roll perks on it. It's also possible that legendary gear, weapons from year one, may also continue to be fixed rolls, but it looks like a lot of exotic gear will be moving forward with the new exotic collections. It is going to be a little bit later on in the summer when we get more details about the actual systems in this new game, but we've seen this in the past, you know, certain stuff at a certain point can get left behind and potentially even brought back, as we've seen many times as well. So I'll be curious to hear what your thoughts are on that. Next though, I want to speak about some interesting new gear that we've seen. One that not too many people have spoken about would be this new assault rifle, and it actually appears to have 4 barrels on it, which is pretty interesting. It's a very bulky weapon, pretty interesting new design. Of course, there is potential that there could be a pretty cool perk there as well, as barrels could be firing different elements or different types of projectile or something like that. And something interesting that not a lot of people have mentioned about the bow in this shot is that it actually appears to fire 3 projectiles, we could see right there, which actually hit an object next to this enemy, but then they zap out with arc damage and actually kill the enemy. So that's almost certainly going to be a new exotic perk for a bow, and it essentially means that missed shots can still do work. So that's a pretty interesting concept. We'll have to see what other kinds of bow will be in the game. But in terms of other exotics we know about, we do know about the pre-order bonus for Cade's exotic stash, which will feature an ornament for the Ace of Spades. Back in Destiny 1, we had the Maverick perk on the Ace of Spades. Precision kills move 1 round from your ammo reserves into the magazine. It also came with Firefly and Third Eye as well, so that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm wondering whether they're going to put the Firefly perk onto the exotic just like the original version, because of course we only have Dragonfly in D2. Also though, sorry hunters, with this being a pre-order bonus, it looks like Ace of Spades will now be a weapon that everybody can use. Whether the other class exotics will also return and be available for all players though, has yet to be revealed. Couple more shouts about exotic gear. The hand cannon, some people are speculating that it's the Thorn. It does have a similar design, but it is a different model. You've also got this taken effect on the weapon, which is pretty cool. So very curious to learn about what this weapon will be. We've seen this weapon as well, which is a pretty curious one. Slightly different model, obviously with a red skin on it. It appears to have a pretty unique cylinder design. This is a slow-mo clip. It kind of looks like it could be an auto rifle, but a full auto scout or another unique archetype is always possible. We've seen what appears to be the Void Trace rifle. It also has this kind of red button on the side, which we can see on the exotic icon right here. So this looks like our new trace rifle. And we've seen a very ornate sword. We've also got the exotic icon for this. So I'm looking forward to see what the abilities for these swords could be. Hopefully we get a big buff for exotic swords, especially going forward. Those would be the main weapons we've noticed in terms of potential and confirmed exotics though. But on the subject of supers, somebody asked Cosmo, will the new supers not be replacing our current supers? And Cosmo said they are in addition to and not replacing anything. They've also referred to them as has new subclass paths, so it looks like they will be connected to the current subclasses. But Gigs actually posted a clip showing various different supers that we'll see in the expansion. There are a couple that weren't in any of the footage though. Christopher Barrett teased the Solar Warlock is the bestest. So there will be a new version of the Solar Warlock, and we'll have to wait for the reveal of that one. We also didn't see the Void Titan variant, I don't believe, either. Onto Gambit, somebody asked Lars Backen, will it have specific rewards tied to it? There was another question, have you thought about spawn kills when the Guardian is able to go to the opposing area? Won't they just be waiting for he or she to jump through the gate to kill them? I feel like that won't be fun. This is actually a concern I had as well, and Lars Backen said, yep, of course, we'll go into details later on. E3 is not far now. And he also gave further clarification that Gambit is its own thing, which won't be attached to the Crucible playlist. Very excited to see more of Gambit. Mode looks like it could be a whole ton of fun. I just hope that there is a lot of loot to chase. To give some clarification about pre-orders, somebody posted on Reddit that they didn't actually see the Cade's exotic stash listed for the PC pre-order of Forsaken. Cosmo confirmed that if you pre-order on PC, you will get Cade's exotic stash. But onto current Destiny conversation, DMG tweeted, we're well aware that some of the Heroic Strike modifiers are a bit painful, Blackout, Glass, and Grounded. The teams are looking at a potential tuning pass for the July update. No additional information at the moment, but we'll keep you updated when more information is available. He also went on to say that they won't be looking to nerf them into the ground, but they just want to look at any bonuses that aren't mixing well and making strikes very difficult or unpleasant to play through. On the subject of the July update, somebody asked about the Solstice of Heroes event. Of course, that is coming on July 17th, and DMG said we've got quite a bit of info to cover over the next month and a half, but we'll be sure to talk about the July update before it's live. So thankfully, in the middle of the summer, there will be a little something to tide us over. Of course, there are a couple of other things in Warmind that we're waiting for. We know Black Spindle is going to be a thing at some point. We're also waiting for the Will of the Thousands Nightfall to come up for the first time. We've got new strike-specific loot to discover. There's always a possibility that that could happen next week, of course. On top of this, it will be Victory Week for the faction rallies. So DMG said, as a heads up, players may continue to earn faction armor ornaments unrelated to renown or faction tokens, and this will be throughout the winners week of the faction rally. But Bungie are continuing to collect feedback on pledge restrictions, ornaments, and everything faction rally related, so sound off. So in terms of locking you to one faction per event, some of the progression that we're seeing in the faction rallies, Bungie are open to conversation and changes there, and much like the Iron Banner that we had not too long ago, there could be a few tweaks before the next event rolls around. Before we move away from the faction rallies though, before This Week at Bungie the other day, Deej did tweet, This Week at Bungie will be brought to you by Cosmo and Dead Orbit, which is pretty interesting, kind of a tease to Dead Orbit's potential progress in this event. If we use Charlemagne bot on Discord to actually take a look at the pledges so far, these are the numbers of people who've registered to Charlemagne, so this isn't the final number. It doesn't necessarily mean this is what's going to happen, but according to this, out of all Guardians so far, 59% are pledged to Dead Orbit, 22% to New Monarchy, and 19% to FWC. And for Charlemagne specific users, we've got 65% Dead Orbit, 22% FWC, and 13% New Monarchy. So that would suggest that Dead Orbit are doing pretty well this time around. I'm sure you probably predicted that already with everyone getting sweaty going for their Graviton Lances, but I thought that was curious to point out nonetheless. I'll keep you guys posted on that progress next week. A couple of quick roundups and bits of feedback. A lot of folks were talking about allowing cross-save / character transfer for Destiny 2, so not the ability to actually cross-play across different networks, but the ability to, say, play your character on PlayStation and Xbox. And Cosmo said they'll keep passing along feedback that this is something the community wants to see added in the future, so you never know, we might just get it at some point. Slick111 posted a curious clip onto Reddit, showing that there are actually space toads on Necess. Kind of a random thing to point out, but I had never seen these, never heard of them being a thing ever before. So I don't know, maybe you find that interesting. Cute little space toads on Necess. GameStop actually have some cool Destiny figures to pre-order if you're into that kind of stuff. So they've got a new set for Warmind. There is Anna Bray and the Ice Thrall. That's pretty cool. And then Nokris, the Herald of Zol figure, which I think is really awesome. And you can find those available for pre-order at GameStops. So you can check that out if you want to. But guys, that is going to summarize this video. Quite a bit of stuff to talk about. This next week is going to be very exciting. We can expect potential reveals on Monday and Tuesday especially. And I'm sure Bungie will have other bits of information and press releases throughout next week, so I will be keeping you guys posted from over in LA. But thank you so much for all of the recent support on the channel, guys. It's been absolutely awesome. I appreciate every one of you. Let me know your thoughts on any of the subjects in this video down below. If you have enjoyed this video, once again, a like is super appreciated. And if you're new to the channel and you feel like seeing more Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But for now, whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.